Hello, and welcome to Strange Times number 19. It's been a little while, and I do apologise, but I recently had to get some surgery done on my throat, actually. And luckily my voice has survived, so I was a bit worried about that. I thought I might be doing these Strange Times videos sounding something like this, you know. G'day, welcome to Strange Times number 19. Would have been kind of cool, but I don't know how long you'd stick around with that. So what do you think of those owls, those baby owls at the start? Pretty freaky. Almost exactly the description of a grey. But I don't think, this explains alien abduction, because it'd be even weirder if, all these people reporting greys were actually seeing baby owls standing at the foot of their bed. That would be stranger than the aliens themselves, I reckon. Anyway, let's get on with the video. I think I've got a pretty good one lined up for you today. We start off with a story about the possibility that a physical Noah's Ark has been discovered. And this is kind of old news, but it's back in the news because there's this documentarian, I don't know, what do you call him? Like a director who's he's done a documentary called Noah's Ark back in 2017, and he's releasing a new one called Noah's Ark 2, imaginatively named. And apparently he's found some more compelling evidence, I think, from memory. I read the article a couple of days ago. Let's go through it and see. Could this be Noah's Ark? Discovered in 1959 in the Dagubayit district of Agri province. Oh my gosh! What a sentence to start. Discovered in 1959 in the Dagubayit district of Agri province in eastern Turkey by Captain İlhan Durupina, an expert cartographer. The three-dimensional ship-shaped formation has opened new horizons about the possibility of it being the legendary Noah's Ark. Computer engineer and archaeologist Andrew Jones and geophysicist John Larson modelled the formation three-dimensionally to examine it thoroughly and shared their findings with Kem Serdesson, the director of the documentary Noah's Ark, released in 2017. Kem Serdesson told Anadolu Agency, which is the website that I got this story from. He told the website about the study and shared some footage which will also be incorporated into his new documentary called Noah's Ark 2. Quote, "These are the actual images of Noah's Ark. They are neither fake nor simulated. They show the entire ship buried underground," Serdesson said, stressing that the images were gathered by sending electrical signals underground via cables. Serdesson said, "It's a ship, but it's too early to be called Noah's Ark. We have to do a lot of work. This can only be done with the support of universities and the Turkish state," he said. Serdesson completed the documentary Noah's Ark in 2017 after a 22-year process. After the publication of the discovery in national newspapers and magazines, renowned photogrammetry and earth scientist Arthur Brandenberger at Ohio University received permissions from the military administration and studied the area with his team. The delegation prepared an 8-page report at the end of the study, but Durupina, which one's Durupina again? That is the Turkish captain who originally discovered the site. So Durapina received only a half-page ordinary report from the 8-page report, so he only got a snippet. The laboratory results of the pieces taken from the ship remained a mystery. I get the impression that in this article, which is from a Turkish news agency, that they've put in here that the captain, Durapina, only received half a page of the report. I think that might have been a bit of a dig to the Americans, because it was an American study, and as he said, the delegation prepared an 8-page report, but they only gave half a page to Captain Durapina. Anyway, I'm distracting myself. Dogubayazit, which is the location, also attracted the attention of Walt Disney. This part was interesting. Walt Disney brought to life Disneyland in California in 1955. So remember, this Noah's Ark site was discovered in 1959. Okay, so Disney World came to life in 1955. Disney, as in Mr. Disney, sent a letter to Durapina, the captain, offering to invest $50 million in the region to make it a theme park. Disney said in his letter, quote, "Prophet Noah is accepted by all religions. Your country will become the visiting center for all mankind." Close quote. But Disney's dream could not be realized at the time due to the political and social situation in Turkey. Can you imagine if that did become a theme park? Like, imagine if it really was this biblical artifact and it was turned into a theme park. Unbelievable. And so the article continues, "The honor of taking the first photograph of Noah's Ark and sharing it with the world's public was granted to legendary Turkish-Armenian photojournalist Ara Gula. Gula shot the aerial photographs on a military aircraft and said, 'If this is the sign of Noah's Ark, it's like seeing God down there.' Salih Barakutan at Erzurum's Ataturk University and scientists at California University's Los Alamos National Laboratory carried out the first scientific... I must go through that too. Carried out the first scientific research on the area and the ship 26 years after its discovery. The underground radar images detected a ship's body, and an 80-page scientific report said, quote, 'It is highly likely that the formation underground is a ship.' And so it's good to see I'm back at my bumbling best. One day I will learn how to read properly. And I thought that was a pretty interesting story, or it's interesting information. I'm intrigued by the photos, because you have to admit that does look like a boat. And it's on Mount Ararat. Like, I've never read the Bible, and I'm Catholic, but I'm not religious. So, I'm not really into it in a religious sense, but if it turns out to be, this legendary ark, what does that then say about the rest of the Bible? Do we have to start taking some of the other events in the Bible literally, like they actually physically happened? So worth keeping an eye on that, I think. Okay, so this next one, woman claims to have found an alien artifact. And so let us begin. This story comes from paranormal investigator Paul Dale Roberts of HPI Paranormal in Sacramento, who recently received a call from a woman named Stephanie Fuller. She claimed that her fiancé, a maintenance worker at an apartment block had discovered a very strange object while cleaning up the home of a World War II veteran who had recently died. The man had been a compulsive hoarder, and it is unclear how he had obtained the object. After researching the artefact, Fuller came across the story of Command Sergeant Major James Norton, who in 1977 had a very strange encounter with a UFO at Fort Benning, Georgia. On September 14th of that year, a group of men had been engaged in a live fire training exercise when a number of orbs appeared in the sky, followed by a large triangular-shaped craft. Shortly afterwards, many of the soldiers became ill, and there was also reports of missing time. According to the report, the object, whatever it was, had seemingly crash-landed in the vicinity, and Norton was able to surreptitiously retrieve a small piece of it. The metal fragment was said to be adorned with strange symbols and exhibited peculiar properties. Norton later posted a photograph online before burying the artifact on his property for safekeeping. It was this photograph that Stephanie Fuller would later match to the object that was found in the veteran's flat. Ultimately, it's difficult to know what to make of this story, as there is no way to corroborate Norton or Fuller's claim, and unless tests can be done on the metal, its origins cannot be proven either. And so I looked a little bit deeper into this one, and I came across James Norton's story, which I'll read out here. It's pretty exciting. And so it goes, John Vasquez, author of Incident at Fort Benning, contacted me and told me he has a reliable source of the incident at Fort Benning, Georgia. That reliable source is Command Sergeant Major James Norton, who is now stationed at Fort McClellan, Alabama. This story was posted back in 2011, by the way. James Norton was a buck sergeant, E5, at the time when he witnessed an eerie encounter with UFOs and the military on September 14, 1977. He was sent to the range a little before midnight, along with 1,200 to 1,300 troops, to perform live fire with their new weapon system called JAWS, Joint Attack Weapons System. The Secretary of the Army at the time was actually at the range. Bigwig. He remembers when they started the live fire, and all of a sudden there were orbs in the night sky. The next thing he saw was lasers crisscrossing through the sky. The command of cease fire was heard, because there was something downrange. Military helicopters appeared out of nowhere. Explosions were heard. Orbs in the night sky were changing a variety of different colors, and a triangle-shaped UFO showed up. The soldiers around Norton were in shock. After the incident, many soldiers became ill. Every soldier was briefed that if they were to disclose any information from this night, they would be court-martialed and sent to Leavenworth. When Norton obtained his medical records, it disclosed that his illness was of unknown origin. His temperature was 104. He was placed in a steel tub for 2 days in ice water to bring his temperature down. He had a memory lapse, or as we know it in UFO lore, missing time. He could not remember how he was on the range and later found himself in the woods. There was a lot of time disorientation. During a hypnosis session, he learned he was abducted and taken aboard a craft. Medical experiments were conducted, and samples were taken from his body. After the incident, 2 jets came in, what were whitewashed. No numbers were on the jets. The jets were there to collect UFO crash site debris. This is the important part to read from this article, and it's got in capitals, "Here is the evidence. Must read." and so we shall. Norton picked up a metallic piece from the crash site that has strange hieroglyphs on it. This metallic piece cannot be burned. A hacksaw will not cut it. If you bend it, it will go back to its original shape. Norton has this metallic piece buried at his property. Norton is willing and ready to show this evidence to some credible ufologists and to the media. Norton claims he has proof of UFOs being real, and with this solid piece of evidence that he held on to since the incident. And I bet you he wants money for it too. This is back in 2011. As I continued my interview with Norton, he told me the post was closed for a while after the incident. The military helicopters that were shot down during the incident were never reported to the FAA. He was burned from a mysterious red substance from this incident. Norton is now stationed at Fort McClellan in Alabama and describes how they experiment with biological and chemical substances on this base and that something else is going on. See, that makes me suspicious now of his first story because, he seems like one of these guys who's always going to be involved, has the info, knows what's going on, is in, always makes me sus. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. And then he continues, so he's saying that there's biological and chemical substances on the base and that he knows there's something else going on. There is UFO activity at the base, he says, and it seems that our military is test flying UFOs over the base. Norton has incredible night vision footage of UFOs of all colours taken on the base. How? Night vision? It's green. How can you get colours with night vision? Come on, man. He has UFO footage of a UFO going from one horizon to another horizon in a mere 2 seconds. He has video footage of a triangle-shaped object that hovers over the base, no sound being emitted. He has all of this video footage for any credible ufologist to review. Let's see it, man. Let's see it. At the bottom of the article, there's an update, and it says, it turns out that the artefact in the photographs bears more than a passing resemblance to an alien artefact prop from Steven Spielberg's 2002 science fiction miniseries called Taken. And looking at those photos, it's very similar. Even all those symbols down the length of it, they're pretty much identical. But even though I don't find the original story credible and there's a Spielberg prop, I kind of had a bit of a think about it when I first read the story. And you have to admit that, just say it was reversed, that somehow, this guy Norton, just say he did find this artifact, a really good way to discredit him and the artifact would be to put in a science fiction show a copy of that artifact, because the general population, myself included, is just going to assume that Norton's an attention seeker and that he's just copied this prop from Taken. But why, if you're going to make up a story, why would you make a copy of something from a sci-fi show? It'd be like me making a fake UFO video and making a prop that looks like the Star Trek Enterprise or something and trying to sell that as a authentic UFO video. So I did a quick timeline here. 77, that's when the original incident is said to have taken place. In 2002, the miniseries Taken goes to air with the artifact showcased in it, I guess. I don't know if showcased is the right word, but you know what I mean. Then in 2011, Norton, I think Norton's story came to light before 2011. I don't know when it originally came to light. It'd be in that book or sometime before that book was released. I probably should have looked into that. It doesn't matter. So anyway, 2011, that's when Norton's story was uploaded to Unexplained Mysteries. And then the latest story where this person, Stephanie, has claimed to have refound the artefact has only just come to light in 2019. So, if she says she's got this artefact, then submit it for testing and let's prove it once and for all. And now we head over to Taiwan. Lost hiker led to safety by spirits. After 10 days lost in the wilderness, a Taiwanese hiker found his way back home with a remarkable tale to tell. The alarm was first raised back on November 10th when 60-year-old Sung Ryo-jian failed to return home after going hiking in the mountains of Pingtung in southern Taiwan. An extensive search and rescue operation was quickly organized, which at its peak saw 111 police officers and firefighters, as well as 284 volunteers, comb the region for any trace of him. After 10 days of unsuccessful searching, things looked grim. But then, much to everyone's surprise, Sung suddenly reappeared and was taken to the police station by a local villager. After thanking authorities for their efforts, he explained that he had survived after his rations had run out by eating natural sugar from plants and drinking water from streams. The most interesting thing of all, however, was how he managed to find his way to safety. According to Sung, while hopelessly lost in the mountains, he was approached by a kind couple who led him back towards civilization. He had remained with them for around 2 hours, and the three of them chatted during that time about everyday life. But then suddenly he turned around to discover that they had completely disappeared. After a brief search of the location he had been led to, he found the path leading back down from the mountains. He believed that the couple who guided him were actually the ancestral spirits of 2 indigenous Taiwanese people who once lived in the region. And that story reminds me of one I did yonks ago. It was a subscriber story who, when he was a kid, he went out to, I think this was in New York State in America, and he went to, there's a famous national park around there somewhere. And anyway, he went there for the weekend or whatever, for the day, and he got lost in the bush, and he was wandering around lost, and he came across these, I think there was 3 of them, 3 adults, but they were small adults, and it was basically the same story. They were just talking, and these adults just led him back to a footpath, and he found his way back to his family. And you hear about those sort of spirits or whatever they are, helping lost hikers fairly often. And I can't do a Strange Times without Sasquatch, or Yowies, or Big Feet, or hairy men, just like me. And so I've got 2 stories here about Big Feet, or Bigfoot. The first one is Sasquatch caught on a trail cam. Tigers infielder Geordie Mercer, I'm sure someone's going to tell me it's pronounced Mercer, has posted up 2 still images of an alleged Sasquatch on his property. The 33-year-old Major League Baseball veteran reportedly captured the images on the 18th and 19th of November on his ranch in Oklahoma. Both images show a large bipedal creature walking from right to left across the frame. Quote, anyone know what this is? Merker wrote. Showed up back-to-back days on my dear camera. On my dear camera. Oh, what a sweetie. But, yeah, so there's those pictures. Make of them what you will. And finally, to wrap it up, I've got some more audio of Bigfoot screaming. So some might remember it was Strange Times number 13. I posted some audio of a Bigfoot screaming in the mountains in Kentucky. I do believe it was in the US. And so here we got some more screaming Bigfoots. I'll just read the article quickly. Gino Meekus, along with his wife and young grandson, had been out hunting approximately 45 kilometers from Sioux Lookout, Ontario, when they started to hear a series of loud, mournful screams coming from somewhere nearby. The chilling vocalizations continued for several minutes, leaving the couple very disconcerted. The video has managed to generate some heated debate on social media, and there are still those who subscribe to the notion that it contains the vocalization of a genuine Bigfoot. Even wildlife experts seem unable to determine for sure what it is. According to Yolanta Kowalski, a spokeswoman for Ontario's Ministry of Resources and Forestry, biologists are unconvinced that it is an unknown species, but can't say exactly what it is either. Quote, our biologists say it could be a larger mammal, for example a wolf, but because it's a considerable distance from the recorder, there is no way to know for sure, she said. And so what I've done, or what I will do, I haven't actually done it yet, but I'm going to add this to the end of the video. I'm going to enhance the screaming, and I'm going to put this most recent recording, which is from, where did I say? It was from Ontario. I'll put that one first, and then I'll put the older one from Kentucky. There's actually two from Kentucky that were posted around the same time. But before I go, I'll just quickly say goodbye, and hope you guys have a good week. Catch ya.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Listen to that. What?
What is that?
I don't know.
Stay. Do not let him out here by the way. The dog.
Dude, why do you think I brought him in the house and run out here? Listen to that.
No more by themselves, or they be out here right now.
Dude, get him in the house. Get him in the house. Get him in the house. Well, listen there, he's back. That's definitely him. Definitely him.
Listen to that. Yeah, he's way up there. I got a trail cam that takes pictures now. I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna get a really good one that films. I've got you. Listen, that's crazy.